Good evening and welcome. This is a special edition of the News Hour, and the entire country is celebrating this evening. As news was given out by the Indian Army in a press conference this morning that India had carried out surgical strikes across the line of control in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. I have some more details of this operation. We're going to be talking about this. In all, 8 terror launch pads have been destroyed. At least 35 to 40 terrorists, that's the minimum number. At least 35 to 40 terrorists have been killed. The duration of the Indian surgical strikes is between 12 midnight last night and 4:30 this morning. The surgical strike teams were divided into 8 teams. They were spread over a total area of about 15 kilometers. The location was between 500 meters and 2 to 3 kilometers across into the LOC. The mortar move was divided into 2 parts, which was spread across an area of 2 to 50 kilometers. And mortar and heavy gun firing was done from a location in Uri to mislead the Pakistani army. This gave a lot of advantage to the Indian army. Most importantly, the areas which were targeted were Bhimbar, Hot Spring, Kel and Lipa sectors. We don't know the exact number of Indian army personnel who were part of this operation. Number of Air Force personnel were involved as well. Approximately 8 choppers are involved. That's a total of 100 to 150 personnel could have been involved in this. But most importantly, what the surgical strikes which we've carried out show is that there was a need for India to send a message across to Pakistan, and that message has gone across unambiguously now. As we look at the Pakistani responses, we find them confused. They are not sure whether to admit that there was a surgical strike. Nawaz Sharif says one thing, the ISI says another thing, and they've gone crying to America, which has sent them back. Now, we support the surgical strikes of the Indian Army for many reasons, but principally because for 11 days since the Uri attacks, India has waited for a diplomatic response from Pakistan that would indicate that it was mending its ways, but that never came. There were 20 infiltration attempts foiled by the Indian Army this year. Pakistan showed no signs of relenting. There were infiltration attempts yesterday and day before as well. And Pakistan, in fact, was violating the ceasefire across the LOC 3 times. No diplomatic channel, no attempt, no persuasion, no pressure tactic was working on them. And we here at Times Now support the surgical strikes because there are at the very least 17 terrorist camps operating in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir with the sole intention of pushing terrorists into India to carry out terror attacks. And it was high time that India acted on them. What we've sent out is a message today that we can destroy overnight 30% of these camps and even more. And if Pakistan were to continue to provoke, this method of surgical strikes is the only way to deal with them. Most importantly today, viewers, as you join this broadcast, please remember, we have called Pakistan's nuclear bluff. And the valor of the Indian Armed Forces under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi has made it absolutely clear to the Pakistanis, we will get you in ways that you cannot imagine. Over the course